Ten,
Standby to take studio.
7, 6,
Standby
5,
camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of MCTV News. I'm your host, Sophia Chvojka.
And I'm Mark Allado. On today's show, Ella Boissonneault brings us a report on the latest event known as a coffee house. Elizabeth Nelson brings you a report on our school's sports medicine class. Jillian Andrews and Sophia Chvojka will be showing us the video they had made during Skills Alberta. Weston Stevenson introduces us to the MCHS Badminton team. And lastly, Charlie Ann Parsons gives us an inside view of the library. Make sure to stick around for a look at our upcoming weather forecast, weekly announcements, and an interview with the man himself, Greg Boutestein. But first, here's our top story.
MCHS is extremely talented in many sectors. One sector we're particularly proud of is our arts. Every year, MCHS holds a coffee house talent show and fundraiser to show off our amazing arts students and raise money for an important cause. This year, students came to impress, and we supported our Lenten campaign. Here with the full scoop on the wonderful evening is reporter Ella Boissonneault.
On April 24th, 2024, MCHS staff and students put together this year's annual coffee house, where performers presented their talents and desserts and drinks were served.
So coffee house, I hesitate to call it a talent show because it's kind of like that. It's a place where students, specifically MCHS students and alumni, have a chance to perform and showcase their talents.
This coffee house, me and my band performed a metal show. We're named Apotheosis. We performed 2 songs, No More Sorrow by Linkin Park and Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold.
So this coffee house, we performed 2 songs. We performed Long Cool Woman by the Hollies and Into the Great Wide Open.
We've been practicing pretty much every day at lunch, and we decided we really wanted to just be able to get up there and perform, and we were pretty hyped up for it. We went out there, performed, and had a good time.
Alongside the showcase talents, an art auction was put together to be displayed. Attendees bid on their favorite pieces, and the funds from the auction, as well as the ticket sales, were gathered to be put towards this year's Lenten campaign.
I think it's almost necessary to have talent shows like this. It's important to recognize the exceptional and the extraordinary.
I think it is important because there's a lot of talent at schools that isn't normally shown, and it's just a good opportunity to get out there and show off talent and learn more about somebody and practice performing if you want to become a performer or whatnot,
I feel really grateful that I got this opportunity to perform in this, and I had a very fun time, and I hope they keep doing this.
I think it was a really good time, and if anybody's afraid to perform or something, just get up there. It's not hard once you get up there. You're just there, you do your thing, you have fun, everybody claps, everybody's gonna clap. And then, yeah.
I guess if I could say anything, I was really proud of how the event went out. It was really humbling and beautiful to see all my kids perform, all the students be on stage, and it was really heartwarming to see our school thrive and have a very wonderful night of music and coffee and tea and desserts. It was super awesome. I'm really proud to have been a part of it.
This year's coffee house was a success, and the community of Morinville should be thanked for their engagement in helping to raise funds for this year's Lenten campaign. This has been Ella Boissonneault reporting for MCTV News.
This week, rain has been crashing down on us, but lately things have started to heat up more. With flowers blooming and trees growing back their leaves and kids going outside to play, our weatherman Haley May is here to bring you insight on the current and future weather.
Thanks, Mark. Now let's take a look at our national weather. Over at Whitehorse, we got a high of 11. Yellowknife is at 13 degrees. Vancouver is at 17 degrees. And Regina is at 16 degrees, with Winnipeg being at a little 11. Over at Iqaluit, we got a -4. St. John's is at 9 degrees. Montreal is at 21 degrees. Ontario is at 20 degrees, and so is Halifax at 20 degrees. Now let's take a look at our provincial weather. Over at high level, Over at high level, we have a high of 17 degrees. Fort McMurray has 22 degrees. Grand Prairie is 18 degrees, with Edmonton being 20 degrees. Jasper is 15, Banff is 15 too, Red Deer is at 18 degrees, and Calgary and Medicine Hat are both at 19 degrees. Now let's take a look at our current condition. Over here in Morinville, we got 19 degrees Celsius with the wind at 18 kilometers per hour. The humidity is around 36, whatever it's called. The sun rised at 5:33 a.m. The sunset, it was at 9. And now let's take a look at our weekly forecast. We got Wednesdays about 15 degrees high, 6 degrees low. Thursdays 13 degrees high and 5 degrees low. Friday is 9 degrees high and 1 degrees lows. And the rest of them is 14, with the lowest being 1 degrees. Now back to you, Mark. Oh.
Thanks, Haley. Sports medicine is a program offered by our school. It is run by Miss Williams, who over many years has continued to teach students the basics of medicine and how to treat wounds. Today, Ella Boissonneault brings you a report on all the details about this wonderful course.
Sports medicine is a course that students have come to love as they learn basic medical skills involving injuries in various sports. The sports medicine course offers information on taping ankles, the human skeleton structure, and how to become a better athlete through training, among other skills.
Skill base, that's where they get to learn how do I manage the injuries. So if an injury occurs, do I know what kind of injury that is? And if it is, what do I do? So they're kind of like the hands-on before the paramedics get there, or before the athlete goes to emergency care. And so some skills that they learn is taping, tensioning, adding the rice, such as rest, ice, compression, elevation, so those kinds of things.
A lot about bones and muscles, and then we did some fitness testing, and then every once in a while we go to the gym and we work out, and then after we're going to come back and do more fitness testing at the end of the year, and we're just going to see how we improved. So we're kind of learning more like training fundamentals and stuff like that too. So
we do like taping, we do lots of notes too about like the body in general, like the muscular system and the skeletal structure.
Students express their thoughts on why taking sports medicine is important, as they believe the information they have learned in the course should be taught universally to everyone.
So I play ringette, and just in sports in general, I think it would help a lot for injuries because, well, right now we're learning about taping ankles. So if someone ever has an ankle injury, then we know how to do it. And we actually learned in this class that majority of athletes don't know how to tape their own ankle. So it'd be a really good thing for me to know, like if an adult didn't know how to do it, or just if it happened to me, or if someone needed help.
I think it's just something everybody needs to know. Like, you don't really have to want to do health or like want to be in health. It's just still because you are a human, so you should know how to take care of yourself if you are injured. So
sports med is a course that offers students the ability to be proactive towards possible injuries, as well as how to care for injuries they might come across. Sports medicine is a course that continues to inspire MCHS students as they learn to explore the world of athletic injuries. This is Elizabeth Nelson reporting for MCTV News.
School announcements for Tuesday, May 14th. Ever been interested in the high-paced field of law enforcement? The Edmonton Police Service's Youth Recruit Academy offers students grade 10 to 12 the opportunity to look into what it takes to fill the boots of an EPS recruit constable. Registration is free, and the academy will run in 2 sessions in July and August. Applications close on May 17th, so if you're interested, please contact Student Services for more information. Attention grads, if you're interested in attending a bowling trip to bond with fellow grads and have fun by the end of the year, please stop by Student Services to sign up. As well for grads, Jostens will be set up in the Center Court this Wednesday, May 15th, during the lunch hour for all grads to browse the selection of grad rings they have available. If you would like a catalog, please pick one up in the front office. If you're a student who's taking work experience, your work experience booklet has to be returned in order for you to be registered this summer in the summer program, so please get it in as soon as possible. Rents and Rover Pet Services are looking for a part-time worker. If you'd work 5 to 20 hours a week doing some blog writing. For any questions or interest in the job opportunity, please see Mr. Lassard. Student Council is holding a Spring Fling dance next Thursday the 23rd. The evening's events will feature an opening band and a DJ. Tickets are $12 for one or $20 for two. The tickets will be sold in Center Court during lunch up until Tuesday the 21st, right after spring break, so make sure to pick one up. For these and all other school information, keep connected by listening to the daily announcements, logging on to the school's website at www.mchs.gcircular.ab.ca, or by following the school on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. As well, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching MCTV Morinville.
Up next is about one of the most renowned competitions in all of Alberta, also known as Skills Alberta. It is where talent and great opportunities come together. This upcoming video is made by MCTV's Jillian Andrews and Sophia Chvojka.
Nature. In Alberta, there are millions of trees, beautiful fluffy clouds, rolling prairies, and so many natural wonders. Facts like these often make me wonder how on earth we could harm our planet as we have. Everywhere you walk, there's construction, welding, oil and gas, and so many man-made ecological disasters. This is what we have done. How could we do this?
Do you really think that's all the trades are? Boy, do you have a lot to learn. Let's back up and talk to some experts.
But instrumentation side, there's a lot of analyzers and instruments that are looking at everything from emissions to water quality to temperature, pressure, just looking at processes as a whole so that what we are putting back in the river is 100% clean.
There's projects for oil, reusing oil, for example in oil mist pumps. The lubrication oil in the systems used to get dumped to drain. Now they're actually collecting that and is getting reused in the systems.
As insulation, we actually reduce an ecological effect by reducing greenhouse gases by insulating pipes. So every 6 feet of insulation that is put on a pipe reduces the same amount of carbon dioxide that an F-150 produces in a year.
So when you think about solar power, when you think about hydropower, when you think about sustainable energy power and that kind of thing, those are being built and maintained and run by tradespeople. We are building those projects for the future that are changing how we move towards a more green future.
Whew, that was a lot. I guess maybe I was wrong. Maybe the true way to care for our planet is to move forward with technology and trades. We can't move backwards, and the trades have made some amazing advancements in the last years. We can't change society, but we can trust that trades workers will do their best to ensure that they have a positive impact on the environment.
Welcome back, here with all the recent sports updates, including NHL scores as the Stanley Cup playoffs go on. In addition to MLB and NBA briefs is our very own sports reporter, Damian Williams.
Thanks, Mark. In the NHL last night, Carolina beat out the New York Rangers 4-1 in a closing the gap, the best-of-7 series, 3-2. And in the other playoff bracket, Dallas has taken a commanding 3-1 series lead with a 5-1 victory over the Colorado Avalanche. In the NBA playoffs, Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 109-102 nail-biter to take a 3-1 series lead. The series between Oklahoma City and Dallas is all tied up at 2 thanks to a 100-96 victory by the Thunder. In MLB action yesterday, Toronto Blue Jays beat the Orioles 3-2 in a nice win for our home team. Miami beat out Detroit in a close 5-6 game. Philly beat out the Mets 5-4. Tampa beat Boston 5-3. Chicago Cubs got shut out by the Atlanta Braves. Coming up next, reporter Weston Stevenson recently had a chance to talk to the coach Trevor Bodner and members of the MCHS badminton team to see how their season played out this year.
If you listen to the announcements every morning, in March, you may have heard about the badminton team. Coach is Trevor Bodner, and there's senior, intermediate, and junior teams for grade 10s, 11s, and 12s. Each age range, there's doubles, singles, and mixed doubles. Some of the players and the coach were willing to allow me to ask them a few questions about badminton.
I've been playing for around 5 years, and it's important to me because I get physical exercise and it's really fun.
I've been doing badminton for like almost 8 years now, and yeah, at first I wasn't really interested in it. My parents just kind of forced me, but the more I grew up, I became in love with it. And what makes it interesting is just how fast-paced it is.
I have been playing badminton for around a year, and why I like it so much is something so thrilling about it to me. That's my partner Jackson. We made the zones this year. Don't know if we're going to make it provincials, but to me it's very exciting. So I can't wait to see how it turns out. Well, I've been coaching badminton for probably 20 years, probably here. And then I played badminton in high school and in junior high. So I've been playing badminton. I don't play it a lot, but during the season I'll play. And so I've been doing it probably since I've been about 12 years old.
Mr. Bodner also wanted to share his thoughts on what makes a good badminton player and what makes badminton interesting to him.
Technique first. It's not always about how strong or how muscular you are. It's about your technique and your speed, and then obviously your intelligence to move that player around the court. You don't have to be the biggest person. You've got to be the smartest person out there. I just love sports. I like competing. It's funny, when you play it as a kid, it's a game where you think you want to keep the shuttle up in the air the whole time, but when you get to play the actual game of badminton, it's actually trying to get the shuttle on the ground as fast as possible. So I just really like the competition of it, and I like the playing with other people too. That part's a lot of fun, and getting the exercise is always a good thing.
The players on the badminton team seem to enjoy badminton very much, and the coach seems to take badminton very seriously and makes sure that he coaches the team very well. For MCTV News, this is Weston Stevenson.
Welcome back. The annual Skills Alberta Provincial Competition was held at the Edmonton Expo Centre last Wednesday and Thursday. With over 40 categories for secondary and post-secondary students, the provincial competition is the perfect opportunity for students to show off their skills in the trades. MCHS had 11 competitors present in a variety of skills from video production to cabinet making. And here to share more about this year's skills is MCTV producer, director, and our video production skills coach, Mr. Greg Boutestein. So thank you for being on the show today.
Well,
Mr.
you know what?
Boutestein.
We were hard pressed this week, and apparently we were a little. You must have been dragging up the bottom of the barrel on this one, I guess.
Oh, not at all.
There we go.
So
what's up?
First, we were just wondering, what is MCTV's history in the skills competition?
Well, we've been. I guess MCTV students have been competing at skills. This is actually our 25th year competing at skills as MCTV students. We have a very long history going back. We medaled our very first year in 1999. Actually, the aunt of one of our current crew members actually was on that bronze winning team, and we've had a lot of success ever since. So yeah, we've had a long-standing tradition at skills, competing in video production for sure.
And that kind of leads into my next question a little bit. So when and why did you decide as MCHS to start competing in skills?
I was sort of kind of forced by my boss. Principal at the time was Mr. Paul O'Day, and he said, I've heard about this thing called skills. I think at that point skills was maybe 6 or 7 years old at that point. I didn't really know much about it. He said, you're going to go. We're going to send some kids. That year it was in Calgary, so I got a free trip to Calgary out of it, and we've been back ever since. So I was probably one of the best blind decisions I've ever made in my career. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'd have to agree. And do you think, in your opinion, are there any practical skills for real life situations that you get from the competition, even job-wise?
Well, I think any student who competes, and whether it's in video or one of the other areas that we're competing in, whether it's cabinet making or culinary arts or office software applications, there's a lot of, I think, applications that kids can take. I mean, it's a real life work environment. They get an actual product they have to complete, and there's a deadline. They have to understand that they have to produce something of a high quality standard in a short amount of time. And I just think generally for the kids, I think it's a great opportunity for them to see other kids in the province that are doing the things that they're doing, and just to be able to kind of put their skills up against others to see where they fare. And if they feel, they might think that they're the top dog in their building, and they might very well be, but they may not be the top dog in the province. So I think for some kids, it's a humility, not a humility, but it's a humbling experience is what I should have said there. But I think it's a great opportunity for kids to get exposed to people in the post-secondary, in the different areas for the post-secondary trades and technologies, as well as members of the industry. And it looks really great on a resume. I think that's one of the best things is anyone who says that you've worked at skills, that there's a lot of recognition out there. If they see that on a resume, you've been a skills competitor.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you've been coaching teams now for 25 years, as you've said.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have many, many memories, but is there anything in particular that really sticks out to you about those years?
For a few years there, we were sort of top dog in the province. There was one stretch that we were actually 4-time defending provincial champions. That would have been back in the early 2000s, and we got to go to 4 national competitions back to back, and there was a lot of good memories on those national competitions. I remember cycling with some students in Stanley Park, and some of my students ran into Robin Williams on one of those trips. They ran into Robin Williams at an Earl's. So yeah, there's been a lot of cool memories that I think not just myself but other students who've competed are taking with them, into their adult lives.
Absolutely. And finally today, what is your favorite part of Skills? What makes you come back every year?
I just love the size and scope of it. I mean, anyone who goes that first year, and I know Mr. Lessard was there this year for the first time when he was taking our students on the tour, and he kind of walked in and he was just like going, holy smokes, this is huge. And I mean, it is. I mean, there's like 19,000 students across the province who either compete regionally or provincially to earn a spot for nationals. It's a huge deal, and if you haven't yet had a chance to go and take it in, I would highly recommend that people get in their vehicles and drive out to the Expo Center next May for Skills Alberta 2025 for
Absolutely.
sure.
Okay, well, thank you so much for giving us your time and coming into the studio today.
Thanks for giving me a break from my directing gig today. I love it. Thank
Anytime.
you. You betcha.
All right, next up, reporter Charlie Ann Parsons brings us our very own scoop on the library to get the scoop of what goes on and how it runs, as well how our librarian, Mr. Pohl, organizes and preps the library for every student and their individual needs.
Books, books, books. Libraries contain many of these, as well as movies for novel studies, calculators, and Chromebooks for teachers, students, and all use, as well as charging stations. At MCHS, we are blessed to have a multi-purpose library. Our library technician, Mr. Paul, had made it a place of quiet study, friendship, and learning.
Lots of people come here to study. Some people come in here to play board games. We have a variety of those. Lots of people play card games, especially Uno. And and I guess a lot of it is people doing studying and group work.
It's a quiet place to come and do my work or catch up on exams that I've missed.
I love the library. I feel it's very relaxing. It's quiet, so we can get our studies done and get our work done. Right? It's a nice environment. I really like the environment here.
Libraries are technically a quiet place. People come here to relax and even catch a few Z's. As a result, there are a few rules they must follow.
The thing is to be mindful of the other people, especially people doing tests. They need a quiet environment to do the tests, and that's a big part of the library. We're just trying to help people get better grades at the end of the day. So yeah, if you're with a group, just be mindful of that. Keep the volume down. You can talk to each other, just not yelling across to another table.
Mr. Pohl, as the librarian and like many teachers, encourage our MCHS students to read.
The students, I think, it's really cool seeing people talking about reading and getting excited about that, and just seeing the positive effect it has on people with their studies, seeing their grades go up the more they read.
So as you can see, the school library here at MCHS is an important part of our school community. For students and teachers alike, for MCTV's news, this is Charlie Ann Parsons reporting.
And that's it for another episode of MCTV News. Join us for our next episode where we will bring you stories on how the Provincial Skills Competition runs, the promotional video for the award-winning student-directed play Booby Trap, GH Primo's production of The Wizard of Oz, MCHS's weight room, our construction class, and the second Skills Competitors video, as well as your weekly weather update and sports recap. So, Mark, how do you feel? This is your first time hosting.
Pretty good, not too bad. A few days before this, I was afraid that I'd make a lot of mistakes because I do stutter a lot when I'm nervous. So I'm just glad it went smooth.
I think you did wonderfully, and I think this was a really good thing, and I hope you do it again.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
From all of us at MCTV News, I'm Mark Allado.
And I'm Sophia Chvojka. Thanks for tuning in.